episode of Done Dissertation Office Hours. I'm your host, Dr. Ramon Gomes, founder of Done Dissertation, where we demystify the dissertation process so that doctoral students can write and defend a dissertation in 1 year or less. Just first, before we get into the content, we're going to talk about today the one thing I wish I knew about the dissertation process. But it's good to see everybody. It's been a little bit of delay with us. I've been sick over the past week, so I'm just glad to be back with you all after a nice vacation break. So I'm looking forward to getting to this content today. I really want to share about the one thing I wish I knew about the dissertation process. But first, this episode is sponsored by Design Your Done Dissertation. Design Your Done Dissertation is our 5-hour virtual event happening this Sunday, August the 21st. It's a 5-hour event with the plan of getting you together to create a dissertation completion plan that gives you the strategies and tools that you need to finish your dissertation in months instead of years. So if you haven't grabbed your ticket yet, make sure that you go to www.designyourdissertation.com to grab your ticket. Thanks, Demarius, for saying I'm glad you're doing better. I appreciate that. But if you have not yet grabbed your ticket, you definitely don't want to miss this event because first, we're going to talk about all things at this event mindset. So I think for a lot of us, we think about the dissertation process as writing, but we're going to talk about the mindset and how important that is to finishing. But then from there, we're going to talk through and plan out how do you get your dissertation completion plan together. Like, it's one thing to talk about getting your dissertation done, but what's it like to actually map it all out? And in particular, we're going to talk about how do you structure your committee and work with your committee in a way that gets you out of this process. And then you're also going to be able to hear from current and former clients in our Velocity Group coaching program about how they've implemented these completion plans and their experience working with us in the program. And then there's opportunity for hot seat coaching. So if you're interested and you have questions about what you're experiencing and what you're going through, this is the opportunity to have those questions answered. And so I'm looking forward to having this conversation with you all during this 5-hour event. So if you haven't grabbed your ticket, go to www.designyourdissertation.com. And for my folks on Instagram, if you can, for somebody for me, just type it in the chat and I'll pin it. I'll pin your comment for me. And real quick, for folks who are just tuning in, where are you all coming from, who you are, where you're a doc student? Love to hear, because I think part of this is building community. So during the event on Sunday, I want you all to really be thinking about and building a community with one another, because as you all know, to get through the dissertation process, we got to have community. So I'd love to know where everyone is coming from. And again, today's conversation, we are going to talk about the one thing I wish I knew about the dissertation process. And the one thing I see a lot of doc students that they don't really think about until it's too late. And then they scramble to kind of try to figure this, what I'm going to share out. And then it's like trying to put all the pieces together. And it really become quite challenging for a lot of students, depending on your process. But again, thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. So this conversation about the one thing I wish I knew it's coming from, I see a lot of students, even my current clients in our program, they're experiencing a lot of issues sometimes when it comes to the process. And sometimes it's not always about the writing, it's about these other things that happen. And we're glad to see we got Demarius coming in from Country Club Hills, Illinois, near Chicago. Perfect. Thanks so much for dropping in this evening. And thanks, Renee, for the link on Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and pin that. So if folks want to grab their ticket to the event, make sure that you do so. We also have, Minerva Jackson coming from the University of Phoenix. And we have Jen Miller on LinkedIn from Cleveland, Ohio. Walden University is going to get EDD in Ed Tech. That is great. So as you all, if I'm talking, anything's resonating, let me know in the comments. If you have questions, feel free to drop those in. I will be answering them throughout the conversation today. So really, this conversation I want to have about things that you don't recognize with the dissertation process. I see a lot of students who go into this process, right, thinking it's only just about the writing. And I honestly thought about too when I was writing my dissertation, and I didn't recognize how important it was to actually realize that the dissertation is not as much about writing as we think it is. I know it probably is contrary to what most of us believe, but the dissertation process is not about our actual writing. The dissertation process is actually a process of thinking. And in particular, writing actually plays a very small part. And because I see a lot of students mess up, and I did too. I thought the dissertation process was all about, let me sit down and write. But what happens on those times when you sit down and write and nothing comes out? Like, I know if it's not for me, I know a lot of us experience that, right? We go to sit down to write and the page just looks back at us like, what you gonna do? And you're like, what you gonna do? And we have this back and forth with the document, like, and we realize that nothing has happened and we haven't made any momentum. And this is because we keep thinking about the dissertation as a writing process, but in fact, it's a thinking process. And the most important thing, the thing I really wish that I knew about the dissertation process, now that I know it, having coached over 100 students through this journey, is this idea that the dissertation is all about having a plan in place. Because the writing is a small component, but it's not the entire plan. So if someone asks you, hey, how are you going to finish your dissertation? And you just say, oh, I'm going to sit down and write for 30 to 60 minutes. That's a component of the plan, but you have to plan for so much more. I think a lot of us don't think about it until it's too late. And I want to give you a story that and something that just recently happened today. I was talking with a client, and we were talking about their situation. They actually had something in their particular case that happened where they didn't get the greatest news. And what from a lot of students, when they got the news that this student got, they would have had probably been down in the dumps. But this student, while they were disappointed, they had recognized that because they had a plan in place for when things went wrong, they were able to rebound once they understood what they needed to do for in this particular situation. And I think for a lot of us, we are planning for everything to go smoothly. We think that our chair is going to do everything we need them to do, and we never talk to them about it. We think our committee is going to give us all this great feedback, and they give us nothing. So a lot of these things happen. We didn't even plan for it. And then we get upset and get frustrated with this process when all we needed to do was have a plan. Right now, for those of you who are tuning in live, and even if you catch us on the replay, do you have a plan right now for all the aspects of the dissertation process? So that is around the writing, that is around your committee, that is around like the policies, procedures in your program. That is around like, do you have a plan about life after the dissertation is done? Have you thought about all those things yet? Have you thought about your committee in terms of how each of those think? Like, how does your chair want you to submit documents to them? Do they want it all at once? They want your whole proposal all together? They want your final chapters together? How do they want it? These are components that are critical to getting out of the dissertation process, but a lot of us just want to think about writing. So let me know in the comments real quick. And we have some other folks tune in and tell us where they're from. Let me know, do you have a plan for when things don't go accordingly? And do you have a plan for all these other aspects besides the writing? Let me know in the comments. And shout out to, we have Ryan Barr, who is coming from Niles, Michigan. I guess as a student at Jackson State, or Mississippi, I'm sorry. Jackson State University. Minerva's coming from Hopewell, Virginia. Oh, shout out to down there. That's what's up. Originally from Petersburg, Virginia. Kara is coming from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, LSU, or actually Jackson State, another Jackson State student. Okay, perfect. Well, welcome, because I'm not sure if we've interacted before, but definitely looking forward to connecting with you all. So make sure you add me, folks who caught me on LinkedIn, make sure you add me on LinkedIn. I'll be glad to stay in contact with you all. And, what I want to get back to is in this experience with my client, when they had this bad news, one, they had a plan, but something that we had an honest conversation about was that the feedback that they got from their committee was relatively minor in nature. But the client replied to me, said, Dr. Goins, I just, every time I get feedback from them, I just feel so dumb. I just feel so stupid. That was the comment to me. And I had to just pause and really think through, what does that mean? But then also, what is really happening in this process? And knowing, because they had a plan in place, we could actually reframe that, and it actually allowed them to see what was going on and then see how to pivot and how to move forward in this. And what they recognized is that getting through the dissertation process is not a matter of being smart, because the quite honestly, the truth is that there are a lot of smart students that are in doctoral programs, and there are a lot of smart students that don't finish either. And I want you all to really think about that. Think about how many students that you had that were whizzing through class that you're like, oh my God, they are brilliant. They know all the things and they still didn't finish. And what I want you to start thinking about is that this process is not about how smart you are at all. It's about how willing you are to be persistent. And it's also about how willing you are to have a plan and execute a plan. And again, I found this over and over again, that is way more important than actually the writing. Because again, you all can go through this process. You're doing this, which can be seeming like this arduous process, like whenever this is going to be done, when is my committee going to tell me what to do? Like all these things that you start saying to yourself are things that you actually can start planning for. So instead of asking, when is my committee when are they going to tell me what to do? You start asking questions like, all right, here's my plan. I'm going to tell them what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to ask them for feedback. that switches the process for you. Because you had a plan, when you start having a plan, you start implementing it, people treat you much differently. What they start to recognize is that, I'm just looking at my list, Kara or Cara, I'm sorry, you let me know how you pronounce it. They have a plan. And I gotta really roll with them, and I gotta really assess what this student has come to me with in terms of this plan. I see a lot of folks who are just waiting for people to give them the information. That's not how this thing goes. You can't be passive in this process. And again, the coursework sometimes makes us passive. Like, right, you have a class, that, all right, I have these particular things I need to do for this particular professor. They like my work in a particular way. But again, this is something that we are trained in our coursework, but in the dissertation process, you got to kind of flip that. And it's going to be you start driving this process, and then you bring your committee along with you. And that seems, counterintuitive. And if you feel like you haven't, you don't have that yet, you don't know what your plan is, this is exactly why you need to be at Design Your Done Dissertation, because that is exactly what we're going to spend the time with you on Sunday doing, is giving you the pieces of the plan you got to think about and start putting together now so that you can fast track the dissertation process. And part of this in terms of your plan is not only dealing with your committee, but it's also having an accountability structure. And part of what we want to do with Design Your Done Dissertation is like put you in a community of scholars who are going through the same process, where you can build with one another and create collaboration opportunities, create community, because we know all these things are so important to getting through the process. And again, there's something about being in a room with other like-minded individuals that speeds things up. That's the secret sauce in our velocity group coaching program, to be honest. A lot of our students come in feeling disgruntled with the process. They get in, they see other students who are trying to achieve the same thing, and they're really just like, really zeroing in on like making sure that they succeed in this journey. And I will tell you that not being in the room sometimes and not having that accountability and not being with like-minded people costs. It not only costs time, but it costs money. And I only say this because I know from firsthand experience. So to give you an example, as I was growing Done Dissertation, it got to a point where with the skill set that I had, just like many of you all with the dissertation process, but like me as a business owner, right? The skill set that I had could only take the business so far. It got to a point where I had to get in a room with other folks who were similar minded to understand and elevate myself to the next level. It definitely was scary at first, and particularly investing in yourself in terms of money. A lot of us, in terms of the cost, we're like, man, I already invested money in, the university. I invested in my education. But my question to you is, are you seeing that return quite yet? And a lot of you aren't seeing it fully because you haven't finished your doctorate. And we're trying to help speed this up so that you can get that instant return. And what ended up happening for me one time, I was, looking to expand the business, and I needed a coach. And, shout out to Jasmine Womack, who was my business coach. I needed support. I need to figure out what to do to accelerate Done Dissertation and take it to the next level. And with that came an investment, not only investment of time, but of money, which was a big piece, but an investment of a year of my time in order to do this. And it's interesting, when I got to the point where I was getting ready to invest, I saw the amount of money and I just was like, whoa, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to spend the money. But what I've come to realize now, I've spent the money, invested in myself, and saw at this point 100x return on the money that I put in. What I came to find out is that not investing and not getting support and not being in the room costs you even more money. And let me give you an example. I literally had students who have been in a doctoral program 3 to 5 years at the dissertation phase, just alone, not even considering coursework. Every year that they're taking coursework is costing them like $9,000 or $10,000 every year. They're gladly giving that up. But something like Design Your Done Dissertation, which is a $49 investment to get a plan that can help accelerate your process, I've had people balk at that. And it's just like, for what? Is $49 not worth saving $10,000? If you got to look at it like that. So you got to start thinking and being in the room. And you definitely don't want to miss it. You got to be in this room on August the 21st. Like, it's going to be a phenomenal event. Folks is going to be, really have some insights and aha moments and life-changing pieces that will help get them through this process. But again, all it takes sometimes is one piece too. I've had people come to the event and decided like, oh, I just took this fast track of my dissertation process. So I've had some folks who decided even not to work with us, who have used the information to track the dissertation. Like, we want you all to succeed. We don't care how you work with us. That's great. We'll help you. We'll fast track it. If you get the knowledge and insight, you feel like you can do it yourself, go ahead and do that. but we want you all to be in the room. So make sure that if you haven't yet grabbed your ticket, you want to grab your ticket to Design Your Done Dissertation event. It's happening August the 21st from 10 a.m. Eastern time to 3 p.m., 5 hours. It will go by fast. Promise you, we'll have a lot of fun with each other and really get a concrete plan in place to get your dissertation done. And with that, I wanted to keep this episode pretty short. I just wanted to drop in and check in. Like I said, I'm still recovering a little bit from being sick over the past week, from being out of the country. But I definitely wanted to come on and hop on with you all and just chat briefly. But I would love to hear any questions that folks might have. Feel free to drop them in the comments. For my people on Instagram, if you're interested in popping up, we can just have a conversation face-to-face on here real quick if you'd like to as well. I got about 10 more minutes. And again, if you haven't grabbed your ticket yet, go to www.designyourdissertation.com. On Instagram, you can click the link in our bio. But again, go to www.designyourdissertation.com to grab your ticket to Design Your Done Dissertation, a 5-hour workshop that's dedicated to giving you a completion plan that will help you finish your dissertation in months instead of years. Any questions? Any questions about the event as well? Again, I'm looking forward to connecting with you all and really knocking this thing out and giving you all a plan to put in place and implement. And thank you to everybody on Instagram who's been dropping in, putting the notes in. I appreciate that, and dropping a message. I appreciate y'all. Any questions? I don't see any here. I'm just checking Instagram for a little bit. I'll stay on for a little longer. For my folks on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, if you want to join me over on my Instagram at DoneDisCoach, we'll be on here for a couple more minutes if folks have questions. But again, I want to see you all at Design Your Done Dissertation happening on Sunday, August 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time. It is a virtual event. We definitely want to help support you all getting through the dissertation. Damaris, if you come on Instagram at DoneDisCoach, if you want to hop on live to ask a question, you can do so. I said I have about 10 minutes that we will do this on Instagram live if you are interested. But you would have to pop on, or you can put your question in the comments. If you have a question, you just drop it in the comments. I'd be happy to answer live right now too. Minerva says, I feel like I'm afraid to begin because I spend so much money trying to overcome committee members' egos, getting past the fear. Yeah, fear is a mind killer, for sure. And it will definitely burn you from the inside out. So what I would say about fear is, if you want your dissertation, nothing can get in your way of that. You got to throw your fear to the side, because I want you to think about like this, Minerva. You have research that is going to change the world. And you got to start thinking about your work in that way. Like, you all, depending on what you do, and you can drop a comment, Minerva, about what your work is focused on, your research. But you all are doing impactful work that can change somebody's life. So are you willing to let your fear get in the way of you getting this degree to do the work that can change somebody's life? Like, for me, nobody is getting in my way of doing that. And I want you to start thinking like that as well. And people do have egos, that is for sure. What we teach a lot in our program is how to navigate egos. That's a lot of the work, and how to manage the process. A lot of us go into the dissertation thinking about, how do I write better? How do I do the technical pieces, which is cool. That's a part of it. But there is this people piece that is really important. And we're going to dive deep, Minerva, into this on Sunday at the event. You definitely should be there if you're feeling this way. You definitely should come if you haven't grabbed your ticket yet, because we're going to dive into how do you work with people, how do you deal with the egos, and how do you placate to the ego, but then still get the things that you want. Because sometimes you're going to have to do a little bit of both. And so this is something that is part of this process, but this is something that we explicitly teach folks so that they can get through. But again, that is a great question presenting, because I just think it's so important. And a lot of us don't think about it until it's too late. But I definitely don't want the dissertation to miss out or knock you out from finishing the process, especially other people's egos. Like, no, we have enough that we're dealing with as doctoral students, trying to get through our own things. And, I don't want anybody else getting in your way. So definitely, Mara, definitely tap in with us, and I hope to see you at the event on Sunday. Demary, she says, let's see, I recently started a new GA ship with my school as a graduate research assistant. Will this be helpful in my dissertation journey? So GA ships, I didn't do one. I just unfortunately didn't have I wasn't lucky enough to do that because I worked. So when I was doing my doctorate, I worked the whole time. I was a full-time K through 12 teacher. I think the beginning of my doc program, I think I was still teaching music then. I was a music teacher, and then I transitioned to special education. So about 2 years in my doc program, I transitioned from being a music educator to a special education teacher. And so I taught throughout my doctoral program. And then when I wrote my dissertation, I had transitioned from being a teacher to working in higher ed and on the academic affairs side. So I did have a higher ed position. So I had a little more freedom in my schedule, but still was working full time. And so GA ships I know are nice. Shout out to my guy, Dr. Larry Walker. He's my classmate. Damaris, another Morganite. He was a full-time GRA. And I know he did, I think he did his GA in the graduate school at Morgan. And so, seeing him, I know he had time to do his projects and do those things. So I think the GA ship is helpful as long as you make it helpful, right? You kind of get the most of what you put into this journey. And so I think that's something really important to consider. I mean, I have a lot of doc students who are full-time, I have some who are part-time. It's just a matter of who you are. Some people thrive better when they're working full-time and have a lot on their plate. That was me in a lot of cases. I thrived in that kind of busy, hectic environment. But I know some folks, like the GA ship, gives you enough time to do the reading, to really dive deep into the work. So again, I think it's just a matter of what your preference is. And Ryan, you said, are these events a regular occurrence? So this event is not. Ryan, the next time we'll do this event will be sometime in December. We usually do these before our cohort starts. So our next cohort, we have a cohort starting in September, and then the next one after that won't start until January. So yeah, the next event won't be until December. So if you're thinking about joining, you should definitely come to the event on Sunday. And if you all can't attend live, there is access to the replays. You have access to that as well for a limited time. So if you happen to miss a day, you can join. And then with that, folks who attend the event and they apply to work with us, there is a bonus training happening on Monday, the 22nd. And only people who attend the event have access to attending the bonus training on Monday. So if you haven't grabbed your ticket yet, make sure that you grab your ticket. So Ryan, I hope you see you at the event as well. And Minerva, I'm glad that was helpful for you. Again, I want you to finish this process. And so don't let anything ever get in your way of that, including people. And again, on Sunday, we'll talk more about like how to navigate people. And if you have further questions, we'll do hot seat coaching. You can come up live and ask your question with myself and my other coach, Dr. Varela. Shout out to Dr. Varela as well on our done dissertation staff. Like we got a great team of folks. And so looking forward to you all meeting them as well. And Damaris, said, can some of us be a guest in some of your segments? So yeah, sometimes after I finish, we do something on Instagram where folks can pop in and ask questions and we got to chat. We do have my office hour show where I interview other folks. And so if you're interested, I know you expressed some interest in that. So I'll reach out to you when we are recording episodes of that, where I interview other folks who are either in doctoral programs or are looking to get their doctorate. And shout out to, I think it's Vinicius. If I can see this right on Instagram. If you have any questions, let us know. Any other thoughts, questions? Like y'all talking about some good stuff. Like these are things that we're all trying to think of through and consider and work with. And so just, keep moving forward through this dissertation journey. Don't let anything stop you. Because that's one thing for sure. The one thing I do know is not something I wish I knew, but the one thing I do know about the dissertation, if you stop, you won't finish. I know that for certain. I can tell you that for sure. I see a lot of folks that finish not because they can't, they don't have the skill set, not because they aren't smart, it's because they stop. And at this point, you don't let anything stop you. And that's what we teach a lot of our clients. Like they come in maybe at one point disgruntled. We're like, no, we're going to push through this, but we're going to give you the strategy and the plan in order to do so. And Jen says, if we can't attend in person, is it still a good idea to sign up? Yeah, it definitely is because you have access to the replay. so that you still can get all the information as if you were there live. The only thing is you don't have the interaction piece, that is missing, but we definitely will get all the content that you need. And again, if you can't attend live on Sunday, if you still have access to apply to attend live on Monday with our other training, if you're interested in learning more about our program and working with us. So definitely, Jen, grab your ticket. You can grab your ticket at www.designyourdissertation.com. But this is the thing, y'all. Information is sometimes the key to finishing. And so sometimes we sit around like we can't attend live. If you know the information is going to help you, like go ahead and get it, and then work through it, work on it. And then if you need more support, then you work with us or work with someone else to get through the dissertation process. And so definitely you want to be there. You definitely want to grab the access to the replay. It will be available. So Jen, I really do hope to see you there. Minerva said, do you sell an online workbook for the dissertation plan? We do not currently sell an online workbook for the dissertation plan, but that is a great suggestion. But it's something that with our folks that are in our Velocity Group coaching program, they have an actual template that we give them that they build out. So this is something that we do provide our clients, our paying clients in the Velocity Group coaching program. But it's not something we just sell one-off online currently. But on Sunday's event, we will give you a structure on how to create this plan and all the steps and pieces that you need. So definitely we will walk through that with you on Sunday. Great question. And Jen, I'm glad that was helpful. Hope to see you on Sunday. Any other questions? But the team and I, we're looking forward to hosting you all. Like, this is going to be exciting event where folks can just build with each other. And I bet you probably two people on this go to the same university. It seemed to always happen that somehow two students who don't even know each other are at the same university, and they can build collaboration and connections from there. Or if two folks are doing the exact same topic or something very similar to build, collaboration opportunities. It always happens like that. So you definitely want to be in a room and, build with one another as well. Any other questions? Give folks another minute or so, because I know we have a little lag sometimes with the social media. But y'all definitely don't want to miss out. Y'all going to be hearing about it like, oh, man, I should have came. And that's how it always is. And again, we're not hosting another one of these workshops until December. So if you miss out now, you have to catch back up with us in December. And who wants to go another 4 months being stuck in the same place when you can get the information that you need now to get through the dissertation process quickly? And you all be surprised what 4 months can do for your dissertation journey. Minerva asked, what is your current completion rate with students who sign up for your program? That is a great question. So in our Velocity Group coaching program, we had an 85% completion rate so far. And everybody's rates in terms of completion time will vary because everybody comes in different points. So I have some students who are starting at the dissertation, the proposal phase, who have like nothing written. Then I have some folks who are at past proposal defense who are writing up their final chapters. So everybody's time frame varies just depending on where they are in the journey. But folks are coming to our program and getting out. And just so you all know, nationally, doctoral students finish at it's like 45 to 50% finish their doctorate, which is crazy. But I think I may have some current clients on right now. If you all are on, feel free to drop a comment in about your experience in the program so far for folks who are considering. But yeah, Myrna, that's a great question. The thing I always say to clients is that we'll give you all the strategy. We will give you all of the plans, but it's only up to you to execute. One thing we don't do with our clients is we don't write dissertations. Like, I'm still a researcher. I have my own research to do. My coach is shout out to Dr. Varela, who's a prolific writer as an assistant professor. Like, we all have research and work to do, but we are here to help support you, give you the strategy. You just have to implement and execute. But I know once you get into the program, folks who get in, they get in and like, oh man, you all have laid everything out. Like literally have thought through the dissertation process from beginning to end and made this thing easy and really straightforward. So I hope that gets to your question, Minerva. I hope you join us so you can get a feel. I always tell people if you're interested in working with us, definitely come to the event so you can get a feel for who I am, my coaches, how we work with doc students. Like get a feel so that we're always the right fit. Because I'm all about students finding the right fit. If we're not it, I'm always happy to refer you to somebody else who might be a better fit. Let's see. Ryan says, do you suggest waiting until we sign up when we actually start writing? We are just starting coursework. Yeah, I would suggest. I would suggest coming to this event when you're at a part where you can start implementing the strategies. Because if you're like 2 or 3 years out, a lot changes in that time. Shoot, your topic probably changes over that course of that time. It may change 3 or 4 times before 2 years is up, right? And so I would say suggest the event is best for doc students who are currently writing their dissertation or preparing to write their dissertation this semester. And I don't know, Ryan, if your program is one where you write your dissertation as you're doing coursework. If that's the case, this would be a good event. But if your program is like very traditional where you do your coursework, then you do comps, then you write your dissertation, I would say come to this event and look at our program later on when you are at the dissertation phase or closer to it. And let me know if that gets at your question, Ryan. Let me know your program because I don't know if you have a program where you are writing at the same time. And before I get off, shout out to Dr. Brandy Fletcher as well, one of our clients who just defended a dissertation about two weeks ago now. I'm super proud of her for finishing and knocking that thing out. August 21st, she said August 20, Minerva says August 21st is like an overview of your program, but not the program itself. August 21st is a workshop dedicated to writing your completion plan. So we're going to share our strategies, our tips, our insights to help you put your plan together. So that's a workshop in and of itself. If you want to know more about our program, we'll have an opportunity with people who attend the workshop to then apply to work with us. And then you will learn, we can tell you more about the program and a bonus training that we're also offering for workshop participants. So the 21st is actually about helping you get the strategy that you need to finish your dissertation and put your plan in place. So we're going to share everything around first hour. We're going to talk about your done dissertation mindset. So the importance of having the mindset to get through this process. Second, we're going to dive into how to build out your plan. Then we're going to talk about how to develop your done dissertation completion team and who those core members are and how to identify them. And then we're going to hear from, and we're going to have an opportunity to have hot seat coaching where you can come up, Minerva, and actually talk with myself and my coaches. And then we're also going to hear from current and past clients about how they have used the information that we're sharing in the workshop and implementing with their dissertation completion plan. So Sunday's event is all about the plan and helping you get through. Perfect. You said that makes sense. I'm in an EDD program at Jackson State for Ryan. Okay, perfect, Ryan. Oh yeah, my wife's godmother, Dr. Frida Payne, was in cohort. I think she was in cohort number 2 of that program, 2 or 3. I think she's in cohort 2 of that program. So I know that program pretty well. I think it's like 2 years in and out, 2 or 3 years in and out of that program. Minerva, I'm glad that you understood and that makes sense. So yeah, definitely Sunday's event is definitely dedicated to giving you the plan. You'll learn more about our program throughout, but it's not really about that part. It's about actually the plan and give you the strategies. Okay, Ryan, you said it's a 2-year program. Okay, I remember that. I remember saying she got in and out of there. Actually, for her finishing that program was the reason why I went into a doctoral program. She told me I could do it because she finished. So that's the reason why I started, was from Dr. Payne telling me that she finished up at Jackson State. So that's great. I was down there a couple before COVID doing some data collection down at Jackson State. It's a beautiful campus. Any other questions, y'all? All right. So again, for folks who are considering working with us, and come to the event. Definitely learn. We want to help build your strategy. We want to give you the completion plans you need to get through in months instead of years. So you definitely want to be there. Design your done dissertation event. It's happening on August 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time. You can grab your ticket at www.designyourdissertation.com. Again, it's www.designyourdissertation.com. And perfect. You got see Damaris and Ryan, y'all both know each other. That's cool. So you're gonna do great. I've known you for a while. Perfect. So I'm glad that folks are connected and have the support. That's what it's all about, y'all. Like getting through the dissertation process is not a solo man sport or solo woman sport. Like you gotta really you need a team in place. You need a crew to get through this thing. And hopefully we're gonna help you build that out during the event. All right, Jen says, got my ticket. All right, Jen. Well, we look forward to seeing you at the event. And if you can't attend live, I know you mentioned you might not be able to attend live. But look forward to you catching the insight from the replay. And then look forward to hopefully connecting with you on Monday as well with our bonus training. Damaris says, I'm willing to share my resources. All right, perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all got to make connections. That's why I ask people where y'all from, because it's important, I think, in the comments to really, build with each other. Like this online space is really helpful to build community. Like right now, I'm just thinking about our Velocity Group coaching program. We have clients that are, I have folks from Columbia to University of Georgia to, I'm trying to think where folks are coming from, Louisiana State University. Oh man, I'm trying to think what other folks we have in our program currently to Baylor University. Like folks are all over the country, and I love it. Like like this online space is really helpful to build community, and with community comes opportunities because your network really can help, especially for a lot of you all who are looking to make moves in higher education or trying to take your research to the next level. Like who you're connected to really helps and really can help provide opportunities. And being in community with people who are like-minded and doing like-minded things is really helpful to then, putting you in places that you might not could have gone by yourself. So any other question? I see folks sharing resources, which is great in the comments, but any other questions that folks have for me before I jump off for the evening? All right. I think we are good. I hope this was helpful for you all. Again, I just love to chat with you. And if you can, do me a favor real quick. This is the last thing I'll ask. If you can share this with your either on your timeline, whether it's on LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever it is, Instagram, put in your stories. Put this, information somewhere where someone else, another doc student can see it so they can get insight as well. And if you want, definitely bring a friend with you to the event. So if you want to go, definitely bring a colleague or someone in your program that also needs the insight information. Because I know if one of us is struggling in the doc program, there's another one as well. And we want to make sure that we help folks as possible. Because our goal at Done Dissertation is to help support at least 1,000 students earn their doctorate. So I need y'all to help me to do that goal. I need you all to help spread the word, spread the message so that we can get folks through these programs and doing all the great things that we want to do. Like I want y'all to take these doctorates and do something with them and make impactful work. So I want to make sure we do that. But it all starts with having a plan. You don't have a plan to finish this dissertation, the degree and everything else is not happening. So I want to make sure that you come to the event on Sunday so that you have the plan in place so that you can finish your dissertation in months instead of years. So as I conclude, make sure that you grab your ticket to design your dissertation. You can grab your ticket at designyourdissertation.com. It's happening on August the 21st. The ticket is $49, but I would say if you're not willing to invest $49 to save $10,000 in tuition, then of course we might not be the best fit for you, because we're all about people who take action and who are looking to get their dissertation done and not sitting on the sidelines, because you all have impactful work that's going to transform the communities, organizations, and people you care most about. And so I want to make sure you all do that. So shout out to everybody who's bought a ticket. We have a couple of sales I just see coming through. Thank you all for folks who have bought their ticket and are looking to join us live on Sunday. Make sure you grab your ticket, bring a friend, tell your program director, tell them to buy a ticket for everybody in your doc program, right? We want to make sure we have the most people here that are getting the support that they need to finish. And I just love helping people get to that next level. So this is, really important to me. It's really important to us at Done Dissertation. Like we just don't take this, lightly, because we want people to finish this program. Like, I know what can happen when you have your doctorate and all the things that await you. And so I want to make sure you all have that as well. So with that, I want to jump off for the evening, grab some rest, and try to just gear up for Sunday. I look forward to seeing you all there. If you have any questions, let me know. Shoot me a message, whatever it is, shoot a comment. We'll definitely get back in touch with you. But I look forward to seeing you all then. If you have any questions, let me know. And again, for those who just tuning in, it's Dr. Ramon Goings. I'm founder of Done Dissertation, and we work with doctoral students to demystify the dissertation process so that they can write and defend the dissertation in 1 year less. I look forward to seeing you all on Sunday. And for those who don't, next time on our next episode of Done Dissertation Office Hours. Take care, everybody, and have a